The PR776 is Liebherr's largest crawler tractor, and it's a machine in the 70-ton weight class. This model of it by WSI comes in a standard Liebherr branded box, and the trays are helpfully marked top and bottom. So with the trays the right way round, we can carefully cut through the factory applied tape. And then voila, we can lift the top tray. And the model sits inside, protected by clear plastic sheets. The last job to do is to carefully pull the model out. And there's no assembly to do, because this model is complete out of the box. Oh yes, it is. There is some detailing underneath the model, and the metal crawler tracks have bolt head details. The tracks and track frames look particularly good, and the high drive sprocket appears to be metal. Moving to the cab, and it's nicely detailed with an angled seat and Liebherr on the headrest. And outside the cab the detailing is particularly good with mesh walkways and thin metal handrails. At the back the big single ripper assembly is convincing, and there are hydraulic hoses and painted rivet heads. All of the hydraulic ram jackets are plastic, but the colour match is excellent. And the big semi-U blade looks good with wear plates at the bottom and real perforations at the top. Some of the very nice details on the model are the thin metal grab rails, the flooring on the walkways, which is a metal mesh, and particularly nice are the mesh grills on the engine cover. The exhaust pipes don't have a hole, but they are painted black inside, so they look good. There aren't too many plastic parts, but they include the mirrors, the exhaust pipes and the front lights. The PR776 was first shown by Liebherr at the Baumer exhibition in 2016, and the real machine is certainly impressive. WSI has done a good job capturing the details, and the tracks and track frames and engine housing are all represented well on the model. The big ripper was attached to the real machine, but one difference was the blade, which was a U blade at the exhibition and a semi-U blade on the model. For the features, let's start by examining the crawler tracks. And they can be rotated easily by hand, although they won't roll on a very smooth surface. The frames are transversely linked and they oscillate. And moving in close, the bottom rollers are pendulum mounted, but they don't actually roll. Let's get the model out onto some rough terrain, and where they can get a grip they will roll, only occasionally feeling a little bit sticky. At the front the big blade can be set reasonably high and it tilts forwards and backwards. There's also enough flexibility so you can tilt the blade sideways if you want, and you can lower the blade fully and a bit beyond if you want. The only thing to note is that the hydraulic rams are very stiff, so there's no problem holding a pose, but it does take quite a bit of effort to get the blade moved. The front hydraulics are stiff, but the ones at the back on the ripper are even stiffer. There is some movement on the whole assembly, and the ripper tooth is easily set to different lengths, so there's no problem setting it to cut through the surface of your finest furniture, and the only thing that's hard to set is a right angle on the tooth. The ripper can be raised up out of service, but opening out the top pair of hydraulic rams is exceedingly difficult. It's time for the genuine imitation, nothing like real life test. Here we have a 165-ton mining truck in the Cranes Etc. workshop, and the engineers are fitting a pusher bar to it. And we're going to test the ability of the PR776 to push the empty mining truck. Let's try it first on a 0-degree grade, and as we'd expect there's no problem pushing the truck. But how about at a 40-degree grade? And yes, it's tough work, but the PR776 manages it. And even at a whopping 85-degree grade it shows fantastic pushing power. It even shows tremendous traction at 110 degrees. Incredible! Unbelievable! This is a very nicely implemented model of a large crawler tractor by WSI. The details of the Liebherr PR776 have been reproduced really well, and the functionality is pretty good even if the hydraulics are a bit too stiff. Overall it's an impressive looking model which is good enough to be outstanding.